What's up, you guys? It's Graham here. So let me start by asking you three very important questions. Number one, have you ever dreamed of being a millionaire? Number two, have you ever wanted to be financially free? And most importantly, number three, have you ever envisioned yourself driving around a Lamborghini and lighting mattresses on fire? Well, if you answered yes to any of the above questions, then you'll definitely want to keep watching because I have the perfect solution for you. And it's called the Financial Freedom Movement, brought to you by Jake Paul. Okay, but in all seriousness, this recent brainchild business idea of Jake Paul has been drawing a lot of controversy lately. It's a program that allegedly teaches you how to live life on your terms, achieve your dream goals, and the juiciest part that all of us want to know the secret to, how to achieve financial freedom. Now, normally I would never cover anything related to Jake Paul because marketing to children is not my demographic. However, once I hear the term financial freedom mentioned, I'm in, and I'm going to want to check this out from the perspective of someone else who has also seen financial freedom in their 20s. See, back when I started on my financial freedom journey, I had to do things the old-fashioned way. Even though I never went to college, I had to get really creative. I had to work non-stop just to get myself ahead. I had to overcome a lot of obstacles and objections. I had to diligently track and save all my money. I had to learn the entire framework of real estate investing. I had to make a lot of mistakes and figure it out as I went along. And after many, many years of doing that consistently without taking a break, I was able to parlay that into now a successful career that's allowed me to become a multi-millionaire in my late 20s. But who knows? Maybe, just maybe, I would have been way further ahead if I had something as revolutionary as Jake Paul's financial freedom movement when I first started. All for the low cost of just $19.99 a month. So I think that is what we're going to be doing today. I'm going to buy Jake Paul's course and then review it from the perspective of another self-made millionaire. I'll give you my honest, unbiased thoughts. I'll tell you if this advice is actually legitimate or if it's a worthless sack of shit. And then I will go and rate it on a scale of 1 to 10 scams. So with that said, if you appreciate all the work that goes into this video, if you wouldn't mind just hitting the like button for the YouTube algorithm, it helps out my channel and will make me feel better about spending like 9 hours going through Jake Paul content. So with that said, here's the video. Okay, so first things first, in order to get access to the program, I basically have to go and flush $20 down the toilet, so I will be right back. Oh wait, I didn't realize it also gives me the option to waste my money online instead, so let me go ahead and enter my credit card information.
And it's gone. It's all gone.
Okay, so objectively looking at this, my line of thinking is that this is a low enough price for people to sign up for without hesitation, but it's also a low enough amount where people might just forget about it and then not bother canceling. Not to mention, canceling a recurring charge like this is usually more hassle than it's worth. And if someone forgets to cancel this for a few months in a row, well then basically in a way, you just paid for a free tank of gas for Jake Paul and his Lamborghini. So already right off the bat, we're learning a lot about how to make money online. Like number one, we should all aim to create a recurring stream of revenue like this one. And number two, the best way to make money online is to talk about how to make money online. Okay, I'm half joking here, but no, actually seriously, the best way to make money online is to talk about how to make money online. I'm dead serious. Okay, so we bought the program and immediately upon signing up, it asks you to enter your username and password, and then it takes us to the homepage where Jake Paul is front and center to greet us and share the entire blueprint of achieving financial freedom. Wow, I don't want to waste any time. Let's get right into this so I can start making some money. So once you go into the course section, you have the option to learn from 9 different millionaires, experts, and thought leaders. So we're going to be starting off with the man of the hour, Jake Paul. By the way, right off the bat, I'm a little thrown off that something like this only has 3 likes. Wait, now 4 likes on it. You would think that with so many big people making videos about this program that there would be thousands of people joining it and watching it, right? Or maybe these 4 likes are just from the people who bought it solely to make a review like this on it. But anyway, that doesn't matter. Let's give it a shot.
20 minutes later.
Okay, so I just finished the video, and so far I have to say, you know, it's an inspirational come-up story of Jake Paul. And for the first 19 minutes, I thought it was kind of decent. But it did throw me off a little bit to hear this little snippet right here.
I think the biggest thing I want to point out is like how much of this information in this that they have access to, you can't Google it. Yeah. You don't talk about this stuff anywhere. Yeah. You know, the roadmap's nowhere except for inside of this.
See, when it comes to selling information, coming from someone who sells information, I'll be the first to admit there are not any secrets out there. The information is already all out there if you want to put in your time and do your own research. There's nothing stopping you from going and learning everything you need to know for free, just like there's nothing inherently wrong with going and charging for information. However, to say that the roadmap to financial freedom is nowhere but in this program that I just so happen to already pay for is a little bit disingenuous. course. But after spending about an hour going through the entire first segment of this course featuring Jake Paul, I will admit there was some pretty decent information in there. It was a lot about the groundwork of not comparing yourself to others, being okay with failure, learning how to celebrate the small victories along the way, learning about the importance of delegating, and understanding the fact that as much as you want something to be perfect, it is never going to be absolutely perfect. But then we should go on to our second expert millionaire, and that would be Dan Fleischman. Now, Dan is someone I've met several times through a few mutual friends, and Dan has hosted several events throughout Los Angeles that I have attended, so I can't say I'm entirely unfamiliar with his work. However, I will say, for influencers as large as Jake Paul, especially when PewDiePie goes and makes a video about this exact program, you would think that it would have more than 6 views on it, right? Like, let's put all the information and content aside, and let's look objectively at this. Like, this has been out for over a week, and some of the biggest names in the world have talked about it. And there are 6 views on this in a week. So let's go and put this to the test. I'm going to be watching this Snapchat video and then seeing if it counts my view, because maybe the counter is just broken. Yes, and it did it. It counted my view. Look, right here, the next view. Listen, I just think it's absurd how little traction this is getting and how few people are actually watching this, given the large social media followings that all of these people have. See, as a testament to their own program, I just think it lacks credibility from the perspective of how few people are actually going through it. And even though I don't have anything against Dan Fleischman, it just seems to me like Dan and Jake just repackaged old content and threw it in here as a way to fill space and make money. Now, that is not to say that the information is bad, but I had the impression going into this that this content was unique to Jake Paul's program and I was going to get something new. But with Dan Fleischman, he literally says it in the beginning of the video: thank you for registering at learnpersonalbranding.com, with learnpersonalbranding.com at the top of the whiteboard. Like, there was literally no effort at all to try to hide the fact that this was recorded previously on his own, and then just slapped together on Jake Paul's website for more exposure. After all, if you go to the website learnpersonalbranding.com, you'll see that he charges $497 for this information. Wow! But here's the nail in the coffin. If you literally just go and type in Learn Personal Branding Dan Fleischman in YouTube, you'll see the exact same video with the exact same links to his site posted on November 4th, 2018. Come on, I just think if you're going to create a program, it should not just be repackaged content from a few years ago. But hey, at least on the bright side, I just saved you $497 because thanks to Jake Paul, you could get access to the exact same thing for $19.99 a month. Plus, I still find it funny that I am literally the only view on some of these videos. So next we move on to Mark Lack, another personal branding expert. And when I click on the first segment to begin watching, I couldn't help but notice a click here to learn more about the missing marketing link from Mark Lack. And that takes you to some sort of scammy looking landing page for some get rich quick, I don't know what it is, where I can get a $6,000 package for the low price of only $97. Seriously, does he think we're actually all that stupid to believe this is real? Like, he would actually sell a $6,000 program for $97. Come on, like, no one sells their own program for a 99% discount. No one. Listen, I'll just tell you exactly what's going on. He went and picked an arbitrarily high number that makes you think you're getting a ton of value from this, and then he actually charges you what he thinks it's really worth. But my recommendation for Mark is that, at least if you're going to be doing this, pick a believable number. Like, don't just say it's worth $6,000 and then,
because you're so committed and you joined Jake Paul's program, I'll give it to you today for $97.
Anyway, going back to the course, I felt a bit special about being the first person to watch some of these videos to completion. And guess what? Yet again, this just seems like another repackaged course of pre-recorded material that was just thrown together on here for content. And I find it funny too that his shirt says Holanis on it. And then it struck me as kind of odd that he went and said this.
And so the biggest platforms that people are hanging out statistically would be Facebook, Instagram, Holanis, LinkedIn, and YouTube. These are some of the more popular big...
Oh yeah, the biggest platforms out there statistically. We have Facebook, we have Instagram, Holanis, YouTube, LinkedIn. Holanis? Yeah, I think we could say that's absolutely not the case, especially if one of their biggest accounts on Holanis, the Chainsmokers, is only getting 12 likes on one of their pictures. So yeah, right there I knew something was up, and with a little digging I found that Mark Lack is actually an operating partner at Holanis. Like, it's one thing to talk about a new social media site that you're trying to grow and develop, and it's another thing to try to sandwich it in between Facebook and Instagram, Holanis, YouTube, and then try to bring in a little credibility to get people to move over to it. Oh, but wait, this just gets so much better. I kept going through Mark's videos and I came across this course called 7 YouTube Musts, where in it he throws in that it has almost 1.2 million views, and then tens of thousands of likes just racking up. So I wanted to see for myself, like, does he actually have millions of views? Well, the answer is no. The video that I just paid $19.99 a month to have access to is already on YouTube entirely for free, and it has a whopping 165 views. Right, so the person who's supposed to teach me how to grow on social media only has 165 views. And then he has to visually mislead us into thinking he has over 1 million views, because otherwise maybe we wouldn't trust him. But I'm not sure if I'm more bothered by that or the fact that the video that I paid for is already on YouTube for free. Doesn't that just defeat the purpose of paying for it in the first place? Because if I remember correctly, he said this in the beginning of the course.
You can't Google it. You don't talk about this stuff anywhere. You know, the roadmap's nowhere except for inside of this.
So does that mean maybe he was lying to us? Wait a second, if he was lying to us about something like that, maybe he was also lying about the fact that his course was $6,000. And this is not just one video either. His other video on mindset is in Jake Paul's course, but it also happens to be the exact same video posted last week to his YouTube channel with a link to his free masterclass that just so happens to be conveniently starting in the next 6 minutes. I just think that when you have to resort to these types of sales techniques just to get someone to buy it, then maybe I think it's just not that good? Not to mention, you would think that a personal branding expert would have some sort of growing social media presence online, right? Well, when you go to his Instagram Social Blade account, which keeps track of his Instagram follower count, you'll see that he's actually losing an average of 139 followers per day, which makes me think, you know, maybe he's just buying fake Instagram followers just like his imaginary YouTube views counter. So I guess you could say Mark lacks social media skills. Get it? Now keep in mind at this point, we're only 1/3 of the way through and already there are so many red flags. But let's keep going just to see if this gets any better, because honestly, like, I went into this thinking like, hey, it's only 20 bucks, how bad could it be? And then that brings us to Travis Lubinsky. Again, he is another person who seems to, out of nowhere, just magically gain a whole bunch of Instagram followers, only to have them slowly lost a few days later. Now, just so I could spell this out very clearly for anyone who's not picking up what I'm putting down, this is usually a telltale sign that someone is out there buying fake Instagram followers just to boost their social credibility and presence online. Normally, I would never care if someone is out there going and buying fake Instagram followers just to boost their numbers, whatever. But if a self-proclaimed business expert is doing this, then that just makes me a little bit suspicious. Okay, but I will say, in Travis's own defense, he is the only person on here so far not to try to upsell you to a more expensive product. So at least there's that, and everything he said, I agree with, albeit it's some pretty basic information, so okay, Travis gets a pass from me. But then we got our fourth expert entrepreneur, who is none other than Adrian Morrison. And yet again, we got another giant upsell at the top of the page, which, when you click on it, whoa, holy crap, the time just ran out to claim this discount. Wow, it's almost $1,000, but right now if I'm lucky enough to get in, it's only $37. Seriously, it's at this point that I could confidently say that this program is now the sketchiest thing that I have ever seen in my entire life. It's almost like we're going down the rabbit hole of exactly how to be a sketchy human being and use cheesy, high-pressure, mildly unethical sales tactics to make money. And with Adrian, he starts off by going into the details about how to start up a business in e-commerce and marketing, and from a surface-level standpoint, it does seem like he's actually giving out some decent information. However, I couldn't help but think that the entire program was just leading up to something. I couldn't quite put my finger on it until, oh wait, it's right here.
So if you want a special deal, a special discount that nobody else gets, you want more training, and you want to learn it from me because you feel like what you've already received is valuable, I promise you, if you click the link below, you're not going to regret it.
Wait a second, is this just another sales pitch for yet another program? And even their Instagram mastery course has another upsell, which just so happens to then start in under 4 minutes, where inevitably there will be something else that they will want you to buy. The other speakers are now just more of the same. Anthony Morrison, who is Adrian Morrison's brother, also just happens to be having a sale at the discounted price of only $7 a month, where he could teach you how he made his first $1 million. Like, this has to be a joke, right? Or we have Billy Jean's information in here. Like, you would think, like, this has to be some new information, right? Like, he has to have done this specifically for this course, right? Well, if you think that, you would be wrong. At first, I couldn't put my finger on it, even though they made no effort whatsoever to change the titles from Clicks 2.0 G Video 3 As in Billie Jean's old program, which I'll put up right here. Could it be that maybe Billie Jean just re-uploaded his old program to Jake Paul's website? No, he couldn't. Or did he? Because when I opened the course, I noticed that the date on there, just to the right of the computer screen, is from 3 years ago. So I think that it's reasonable that one logical person might conclude that this is just more reused content. Or then we have Dimitri, and oh wait, no, never mind, his content is coming soon. Or lastly, we have Cole Hatter, who teaches you the basics of financial literacy. And yet again, I can't help but feel like I am watching something that was pre-recorded a long time ago for something else and then just re-uploaded on here. But this is now the point where things took a slightly different turn from what I was expecting. And seriously, I did not go into it thinking about this, but now it just starts making sense. Just listen to this. Now let me just make this very clear. All of this is just in my imagination. This is just theory. This is just my thoughts. But I think, maybe, perhaps, this course was not even Jake Paul's idea. And maybe, just maybe, Jake Paul was paid for his appearance in the course and for him endorsing it on Twitter. And then these clever internet marketers are actually behind it all, masterminding this entire thing. See, here's the thing. I'm just thinking to myself, if Jake Paul put this together and this was his idea, why would he go and pick these specific 8 people? Like, why Billie Jean? Why Mark Lack? Why Dan Fleischman? Now, that's not to say that any of those people are unqualified by any means, but there are a lot of people who are really good in this space and don't resort to using pre-recorded webinars to sell information. So why use them? Unless these internet marketers all knew each other in the first place and then worked together to go and create this with Jake Paul as the face of the entire thing. Like, let's go and take Dan Fleischman's Instagram page, for instance. He follows every single one of the business experts on Jake Paul's program. Now, on the surface, that might not seem like relevant information, because after all, Dan Fleischman follows a lot of people on Instagram, and there's bound to be a bit of overlap there. Unless, of course, they all knew each other well before this entire Jake Paul program. Like in June of 2019, Dan Fleischman and Cole Hatter hosted an event together called Thrive. Travis also just happened to have commented on that post as well. Or what about this event hosted in 2018 for Dan's birthday, where Billie Jean also just happened to speak? Oh, and wait, who is that? Mark Lack? Cole Hatter? What are the chances that Jake Paul just happened to pick a close group of friends that have already worked together to use on his course? Like, the chances of Jake independently picking 8 separate people who all have worked together extensively in the past is just astronomical. Not to mention, when you go and look up the domain Financial Freedom Movement, you could see that it was registered in April of 2017. So this domain has been picked up and registered and held for 3 years before then Jake Paul picks it up today. Now, even though that's all speculation and I do not have any undeniable proof that one of those internet marketers is secretly behind the course, all I'm going to say is this. Given Jake Paul's complete lack of involvement, given that the entire selection of millionaire experts all knew and worked with each other years before this course went live, given that nearly the entire program is a re-upload of repackaged and reused content, and given the extremely low level of user interaction on the site, of which was actually registered years ago, I would just venture to guess that Jake Paul was probably paid an undisclosed amount of money to put his face on the website, and instead, the entire program is owned and operated by one of these 8 people we see here. Now, I'm not going to point fingers at anyone specifically, because again, this is just theory. But from the looks of it, I don't think that this was Jake Paul's idea, and I highly doubt that he was really the one behind it all. He really only mentioned this from a single tweet, and then of course social media influencers did their thing to bash on it as soon as it started to gain some traction. And again, I don't have any proof of this, it's just my theory, but coming from someone who understands these tactics and I get what these people are doing, it just seems as though to me that is most likely the case. So after spending the entire day on this monstrosity of a program, here are my thoughts. If I were looking at this completely objectively from a cost standpoint, then I would say for 20 bucks, you know, there's some decent information in there. However, the sheer amount of upsells in this program is absolutely atrocious. And that just makes me feel really disgusting about even going through it on my computer. And maybe I'm just thinking way too highly of Jake Paul, but I can't ever imagine a reality where he is the one who is doing all of this, who's putting this all together, and this is all his. Although I do openly think, no matter how you spin this, the website was so poorly done and the whole concept was so poorly executed that it's just not a good look for Jake Paul. But thankfully, not all hope is lost, because even though I spent $20 on this program, I did end up getting my money's worth, and this is what I learned. 1, if you want to make people think you're more important than you actually are, then you should buy a whole bunch of fake Instagram followers. Now sure, people like me will know know that all of those numbers are fake and it's just smoke and mirrors, but that doesn't matter because people like me are not the ones buying your program, and the people who actually go and buy it are going to have no idea. 2, I learned that you always need to have an upsell. Once you get someone's small investment up front, you're going to be more likely to then go and get more money from them afterwards because now you've already got them hooked in. 3, you know what people love more than getting a discount? It's getting a 99% discount. So go ahead and mark up the price as high as you possibly can, just so that you can later mark the price down to pennies on the dollar. And 4, the best way to make money online is to talk about how to make money online. Seriously, that niche is never going away, so get in while the going is good. Now, like I said, I don't think there's anything inherently wrong with going and selling information. After all, I sell my own program down below in the description that I just happened to mark down from $47,995 all the way to the low price of $297 for the first 2 people that sign up within the next 30 seconds. But instead, it's really just the way they go about selling this information that just rubs me the wrong way. At least just be upfront about what to expect and then make sure to deliver on that. But this course for me, unfortunately, did neither, and I walk away from it with a strong suspicion that someone else is really just masterminding all of this, and Jake Paul was only just brought in to bring more credibility and awareness to it. And now I'm off to cancel my membership because I don't want to flush any more money down the toilet. So with that said, you guys, thank you so much for watching. I really appreciate it. And as always, if you guys enjoy videos like this, make sure to destroy the like button, subscribe button, and notification bell. Also, feel free to add me on Instagram. I post it pretty much daily, so if you want to be a part of it there, feel free to add me there. As on my second channel, The Graham Stephan Show, I'm posting there every single day. I'm not posting here, so if you want to see a brand new video from me every single day, make sure to add yourself to that. And lastly, if you guys want 2 free stocks, use the link down below in the description, and the free stock trading app Webull is going to be giving you 2 free stocks when you deposit $100 on the platform, with one of the stocks being valued up to $1,400. So if you want a chance to get a stock worth up to potentially a lot of money, feel free to go ahead and do that and let me know which 2 free stocks you get. So thank you again for watching, and until next time.